Hello. Now then, welcome back, I guess, to what is the first episode, but the second episode of the playing around in the 1.0 experimental, I guess, playthrough. This is going to be a separate, but in the same vein as the Folktales one, but this is with the Ironteeth, and we're playing a different map. Now, I've had a poke through the maps this time rather than coming in completely unprepared, which was the case last time. And this map has some bits and pieces to it. But again, as I said, this is an Ironteeth one, so we'll see what they get to play with. The other one will continue also, as well as the Ridge side one. So this basically, I'm going to try and flip-flop between the two to get to a point just so we've seen all the bits and pieces and see how they work. Obviously, the one yesterday has... not much in terms of all the geothermal stuff. As I say, this is the different map that they've included for free with it. So I think this one's got all of them on. There's probably a few playthroughs that are currently using this map from other people playing this game, but it seems to be one with the most, I guess, news toys to play with on it. So yeah, the one that we've got for the Folktales, I'm going to rename them. So that's going to be based on the map name. So while this is episode 2, it's the first one of this one. That makes sense. Hopefully it does. If not, I'll split the playlist and something like that and worry about the episode numbering at another time. Anyway, so let's see. We need to name these guys. So let's see the. Let's just call them the Ironteeth. Wow, can't spell. Ironteeth. I don't know. Ironteeth dot one. I don't know. Whatever. Matters not. So, again, if you've watched other people's playthroughs, you will have seen this map before, so I'll not go into all the bits and pieces we can see. But we do get the toys, so it's good to see that these guys get access to all of the stuff before. Now, just having a... Before we get too invested in mixing stuff about on here, just make sure what we've got access to, which obviously is the curly stairs. Same sort of stuff, obviously the breeding pods and whatnot, because we're playing the Ironteeth, and obviously the aquifer drill, and the do we not get that in here? Power on it. Yep, geothermal engine. So we have the original engine and the geothermals. If I'm honest, it would have been nice to not get this in the Ironteeth, but whatever. I suppose it is an early game thing, so. Or if it was like hobbled to some degree whereby it wasn't quite 200. Anyway, rant over for that front. So yeah, effectively, as I say, I think we've seen this map before, but there's obviously quite a bit about, so not quite as complicated as the pressure one, which is the Folktale playthrough. There's no bad water yet because these all kick out at some random time in the playthrough. So, what's probably going to happen now is I'm going to try and focus on just quickly getting a colony set up to about the same level as the other one, which will probably take the whole episode to do. But obviously we need to get them up to a sort of a stage together, so it's just going to be one of those things where it's just going to have to be a case of grinning and bearing as we have done before. So early game stuff, as ever. And obviously getting all the stuff in that we're going to need to keep the beavers alive. So usual stuff. That can go there because you can reach everything. Obviously going to need wood. That's going to need to go somewhere around here. Just quickly get this placed in. That'll do for now. So we've got those. Let's just queue up some tanks for some storage. That'll do nicely. So get this built first, followed by this. They can then carry on. These guys could be just knocked down, so they should be able to keep beavers going a little bit longer without too much intervention. And because I nearly failed on the other one, I'm gonna lay in one of these, but again, low-hanging fruit. So, go, go, go. With absolutely no beavers invested, they can start running. We'll jump this straight up to 3 because we don't want to be hanging around too much. Ah yes, my ever fail. Go. Once they've got that built, obviously it's going to be careering into science. This is going to be important to just keep everything else going. So, I do like this is now a feature where you can tick this before you have haulers. Not that, well, if you had haulers but building something, then going back into Remember to tick it, you can tick it at the start. I noticed this when I was playing to the other one that's actually quite good. Again, not that we have any haulers at this point, but some point in the future. Good, so that's that done. You should be on building something or other. Just as a note, this is not a hard mode playthrough again, normal. Just so we get used to the new mechanics, similar to the other one. I guess depending on which one hits first in which playthrough, there's spoilers ahead for what's going to be the outcome of the ones, but I think we know that obviously the bombs, wherever they are, or the bad cores or whatever they're called, they will blow up at some point, as we've seen in the videos. Obviously we've got some bits and pieces for getting science here. Obviously we've got this thing to get some drill going, get some water in theory. Have to see how that works out for us. Probably not something we can get too much with at the minute, but it'll just come out there if that's a bad tide, which is fine. Cool, so this guy's going to be starting pumping the water. That's almost nearly done. Couple of logs. You should be able to quench the thirst. And I guess after that, it's just didn't want the paths on top, but never mind. No, don't want that one. Don't want that one at all. What am I doing? I promise you, I have played this game at least. Well, you know how many times I've played this game because you've seen them all. But still, berries. It's going to be that one. Just to get rid of that. Cool. So we've got spare there. And again, it's going to be chucking in a farmhouse, wherever we can get one in that makes sense. So I think that makes sense to me. Again, just jot that down. For now, as we need to get the basics. So the food's not the best, but once these get built, shouldn't be too much of an issue for us. All of these down because I want them to concentrate on getting the water sorted. So that should be that. Obviously, big fails here. I'll just copy that while we're going. And then I guess it's going to be quite a bit down the hill of things to get through, and I'll probably just pause one for now. Don't particularly need any beavers to be born at the minute. We're still pretty good on the numbers for now, but it's going to be a bit slow going as it ever is on the start, but hopefully this is a decent start. Let's see. You've got nothing to be on with, fair enough. How about then you... that built. Take a guy out of there. And similar to before, we're going to rush forward on getting at least the science for the forester, which is only 30, so that shouldn't take us too long. And we're also, again, at least stairs. Now, we can get up here and see this thing, which will give us geothermal power, which is underneath here. So, again, decent amount of, a lot of logs, but a decent amount of power for the science and wood, I suppose, so it's not going to be too egregious for us. Just going to pause that so we're not sinking the berries in it just yet. We picked them all clean anyway, so there's not like we can do much else. And it should be the farmhouse, which is correct. Still okay for that, so it's not too much of an issue for us, not yet. I suppose we should lay in some crops, so we'll just go with the standard kohlrabi it up. And I think, let's just lay in a, use the features, let's use the features. We still have a decent amount of trees down here, obviously enough for what we're going to need for this bit, and again the stairs are beautiful to get in for these oaks up here. Some farmers in, so they're doing what they need to get done. Cool, so they should be on with these. Well, obviously once the day ends anyway. Day? Night. Once the night ends. I think it's been mentioned in the notes somewhere that this obviously doesn't flood, clearly. It won't get any deeper than this, but I don't know if this will have a bad tide when that kicks in. Obviously we've got some time before that is on normal, as we are. But I do wonder what we would do if this was then full of the red goo. Because that's going to be a problem for us, so don't think it's a problem yet. We'll get a couple of droughts first, so won't worry about it too much, but we do need to consider what that's going to need to look like. And with it being an enclosed pit, I don't know how we would dump that water to be. I mean, we can't. Well, we could pump it out, I suppose, but not yet. Not at this stage of the game, anyway. Let's turn. Well, once this food's grown, I'll turn it back on. And in fact, let's just say, plant me them two. Right, so we're also going to need these, so there's much we can really do in the short term for that. Obviously corn is the winner of this faction, so we will be jumping to corn as soon as, well, feasibly possible, I guess. Good, so science is on the way. Turn that back on. I guess it's possibly time for barracks. Just to cheer them up a little bit. Yeah. I'll put that in there, and then we can have a little path. Runs to there. And eventually we can work our way up here to get some of this wood once we get these kind of things sorted. Fix the house. That's a lot of logs, but needs must. And then fix the science. So these are very unhappy because they have no shelter, so this should at least appease, well, 10 of them. And they'll have to make do for now. Needs must. Cool, so there's some berries actually coming in. We are eating them, but the kohlrabis have finally come in, so that should work to keep us going for a while. And in fact, I'm just going to say, make that kohlrabis instead. Just because they'll be a bit easier to deal with. Well, they're probably going to get eaten before they're pulled out of the ground, but never mind, that'll be fine. Right, so that should cheer a lot of these miserable beavers up. That shouldn't take them too long, so they've got a spare worker so they can go straight into there and work on that their science for us. What have we got to cut? Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave that be for now, time being, and they can get the rest of those down. So that should put us in a decent stretch for at least this cycle. Obviously these guys need to pull some more stuff out the ground. These guys can get eaten. Right, so hopefully I can start pulling those out. So what are we constructing? So we need that. What do we need for these power things anyway? Remind me. Planks. So we do need manual work sorting out to get those done. So we're going to need some sort of large power wheel for that, I think, which 50 logs, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, that one. Please cut them all down. Just concentrate on that for now. Okay, so we're dying of hunger. That's impressive. Well, with any luck, this will kick out soon and we'll replace the hungry beaver. They're set to harvest, so they should concentrate on that. That hopefully will fix a lot of the starving problems with the beavers. Obviously, hungry fellas. Little died. No. Oh well, never mind. For the good of the colony. Fantastic. Alright, so they're no longer hungry. I mean, they will be, but right now they're not hungry. Yes, there's nothing in stock for them, so that's fine. I guess from a well-being point of view, we're going to need something for them to do, so we may as well just sort of say, put that there. Grind that stone there. As long as we start getting a surplus of stuff, in at least stored in the farmhouse. Never mind in the over here. I will just chuck that in to stop them from spreading. I believe this trick still works. It used to. Does see why it wouldn't. But yes. Tired. Good, so they've got that to do, that's fine. So when they get a broken tooth, we won't have any, well, as many complaints anyway. These need to be a top priority job, just because they do need to be. There's our first drought warning. It should be mercifully short. At least that's the hope anyway, so we'll leave them to it. Is there anything we can be on with right now that's gonna make this any easier? No, but we do have, in fact, the forester, so unlock me this. And that should, if we put it here, be able to reach everything. Now this, they can dump the logs in, that's not a problem, but we are going to need to commit ourselves to putting down a lot more. So let's just say sayonara to those. And we are going to need power. So, the wheel of cooperation here is going to basically be the next thing we build. Because this needs to basically build us the planks. So there's no one in there, so goodbye. They should come into here. Well, okay, someone's definitely going into there then. These need to be low priority jobs. So we've got 9 adults, what are they all doing? You picking berries? Yeah, you are, so... so there's a decent-ish stash, there's some in here. I'll let them pull all that out of the ground and then we'll plant some more. In fact, no, I'm going to get them to plant now. And keep flip-flopping them between the two. Doesn't take them long to plant all that anyway. Obviously, let's get them an extra 2 hours of working. Zoom them through the night. But it does mean we have all of them in shelter at this point, so a 3-day drought, that's not too bad for us. I don't think this is going to cause us any issues by going slightly dry, but if it gets too low, we can always pause these two. Should give them plenty of opportunity to get that laid in. Go back to harvesting, please. Want to plant some more at some point, but good. Right, so there's nothing we need to do yet, so calm yourselves down. I'll let them dump those in there. Yeah, they can get around to that at their leisure. There should be enough to get those built. And then it's just going to be a case of waiting for more trees. I'll probably just plant pines, to be fair, just because they're a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to say, pine it up. Actually, I'll maybe just say, leave that for now. So we can look to get this metal up here. Okay, so everything's going pretty steady. So what we got? Got plenty left on there, that's not a problem. So there we get nicked out of there, that's fine. There's only one in there. These guys can continue to do what they're going to do, so 1 and 1, please. And I think just a tiny little thing for planks, please. Good, right, maybe some planks. Never mind, it's done. So, you are a high priority job, so go do that. Okay, so we've got plenty of logs for now. We can get those planted. That back set planting. So I think this is now just about similar to the Folktales one. So from here on out, we've rushed-ish to this point. Don't think it's too much of a issue for us. We are going to need to consider another barrack at some point to store them in. Probably lay that in now, to be fair. Quite got enough beavers to power that, but it's fine. That shouldn't be too long. I can dig those out, so there's enough in storage, I think, so I think we're alright for those. At some point we could put a second farm in and have some planting and some ripping them out, but we obviously need to expand the farming quite exponentially for that to be a thing, because there's not a lot of water here. Well, not enough to keep a lot of stuff growable, not without the dynamite and water dumps and all the other shenanigans that entails. Let's see then. So this thing, is it the same as the other one? Yes, so it's 4 sparkly planks and a log. But we do have stairs now, so let's get those unlocked. And I'm just going to say, stairs those. We do have enough for these, so I'm also going to unlock those because these are going to be useful. Just going to say low priority on all of that, but I would like that done, but you're not going to be able to reach it because I know the beavers well enough to know that they're going to say I can't reach it, so I'm not going to do anything with it. Pines coming on at a pace. That space is left so we can get some metal up there. Where's our other stash of metal? Quite a way away, actually. What are you waiting for? A log. Okay. You out of trees. You are out of trees. Okay. Right, well in that case then we'll have to dip into the old reserves. So let's just chuck that there and get that built. And I'll just say, cut me these trees. That can reach that far. What I think I will do then here is go for the ever classic oaks. Obviously they take a long time to actually get going, so I do need someone in there. Yeah. Okay. Do need someone in here, so off you go. I do need someone in here as well. Steal them from somewhere. Build up a bit of wood buffer and get that sorted. Should have the one builder in here, so they should be able to get that finished for us, which they can. We are going to say goodbye to all of this up here. And I'm going to remember to actually set this. So for the time being, let's just pause this guy, and this guy, and this guy. Should give us at least someone to go in here. We're probably going to need to start considering, foolishly probably, but wherever they are, another one of these. We're not making those anymore, so you can stop that. Tidy up that path, I think. As we hopefully at some point bad water source in 5 days, eh? Aha, so where's this? Okay, it's over there. Right. Not too bad, not too much to worry that much about, I don't think. Good, they're keeping up with that. So these pines should ripped out soon. I think oh yeah, we have got some logs. Fine. They're not going to be that productive because I've got to rip them all down here, but with this kind of extra logs in storage, it can't be a bad thing. And I think it's probably time to consider that for the berries. We are going to need to get someone doing good stuff down in... That just needs planks. Could divert some beavers into there, but You've got absolutely nothing to do, so you can be paused. So that should give us a 1 job back. Same one? Yes, same one. Right, let's just pause you. Let's get someone in here. Gonna be slow going, but we should get a plank out of it. Or the planks we need to make this. And then it's gonna be straight into the science, I think. That's this guy sorting out the berries, that's okay. Giving us a decent haul. Good, so they can get up there now, so that's fine. So let's just say pause to this, pause to this. You are now very important. As we need this to get our way worked up to this bad boy. So 160, we are nowhere near, but I have every confidence that they will be sorted soon. In the meantime, we've got a couple of trees that have popped up. If we get a spare beaver grow up soon, let's just have a look at the numbers. So Zulgra here should be able to take over this. Just a bit of pause on doing some industry stuff, what we can lay in, I suppose, because they're free, is just do this. And we may as well clear the area up here. As those oaks will not last forever. And we've got spare trees we could take down. So that's going to start sprouting forth soon. So where's this going to go? So it's going to go down to... well, nowhere that way. It's going to hit some brambles there. Can't get us that way. Where does it leave? Let's go through here. Let's come through there and then out that way. Alright, fine. So that's not too much of a problem. I guess I'll wait for it to see what this does. If there's any... does it just start filling up as it used to? Yeah, alright, fair enough. So that's a drought warning. Doing too badly on the science. I've not got a builder. I haven't got a builder. Fair enough. I'll say pause to you then. I can't remember how many droughts it is we actually get before they become bad tides. Good, right, so we've got some more births, a couple of baby beavers, so that's increasing. Yeah, plenty of space up there. Store them in, that's fine. Where's that bad water gone? It's going off where we thought. Yes, it is. Right, fine. Let's just say that we'll cut all of these down. someone in here planting those trees. Good. Right, so some of these should be start springing up at some point anyway. Looks like I haven't set this area. What I will say then is, not that one. I'll let them grow, let them get pulled out the ground, and then we'll change them for oaks. Are we done? Do we have the power? We have the power. So I would like very much for this to be sat there. It's going to take not that much of the logs, but we are going to need power for that. So it's still going to be, unfortunately, in here. So that's going to take 30 planks. So we'll let these guys make 30 planks for us. Or not. Need those quite yet. I think we're okay for wood. We have at least someone in each of these. And we'll juggle the building appropriately. When we get to that point anyway. So 4-day drought, not too bad. This wasn't even touched by a 3-day drought, so I don't think that's too much of a problem. I'm just wondering what we do in case of a bad tide in this. Not sure. Doesn't flood. I mean, we're going to need to get down here anyway, so we know at least we have to lay in some stairs. Whatever we've got to do. These guys keeping up, so good. We are fine for beds. I think we're going to probably contemplate this. I'm going to copy and paste. Must learn new muscle memory. Again, with no builders, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. Do we have any need for science at this precise moment in time? Probably not. So please go do anything else. I'm just going to say, make this up. It will do that, but thanks anyway. Gives him a little bit of a shortcut. So we should have enough in there. We've got 2 in here, 2 builders. Okay. Obviously, each one taking the water, so that's okay. Once that's done, it's going to be a case of shifting some resources about to make this worthy of our free power that we finally get here. So there's enough logs and enough planks for that, so that should be online momentarily. So we can, in theory, stop the plankers, which I'm going to do. But I am going to say, after you've done that, build me that. Is it worth putting... Good, we have unlimited power. Happy days. So once that's built, which they'll probably do after this, yes. Say goodbye to that. And you can be 4 planks. Okay, so we're going to need someone to pull these berries out as well, I think, so otherwise we're not going to be able to feed and water these, so let's get someone in there. Let's say goodbye to that as well, because we can get some of the logs back for it. So with this, if we were to say if we were to build around it, it won't ever fill. Let me just pause. So yes, I do need these anyway. So that won't overspill. It would only ever fill to that level, so if that was filled with bad water, it's only ever going to fill that high anyway, which in the pool this size is, well, not a lot. So if we were to say accept the fact that it's going to get contaminated, but it's constantly refilling, so I'll just keep getting diluted. So if that was, say, then, not that I can unlock this, but let's just say it was like that, then we could just slam this shut if it was a problem. I mean, ideally we'd have one of these, but that automated feature is not ours as yet. So okay, let's go with that. Just right, so that stops them from getting too trigger happy with that. So we do need the science huts running, which we do have someone for. We've got one spare job, which I think is that science hut, so that's okay. We could ideally do with someone taking some more trees out, but I think we're in a decent place at the minute, so... I'll let them build a few more of those and then we'll pause this. Because we do, again, need to concentrate on getting science sorted, as we're going to also need this. So we need 250 altogether. So I'm going to up these, in fact, so we get people in. That can wait. Let's take someone out of there. There must always be 2. I suppose if the builder's got nothing else to do, they can be on with that. It's quite a lot of wood, to be honest, but it's needed. 5 planks, and it's going to take 10. 12. Yeah, we should be alright. Don't think we'll need to force anyone in. Rather hit them with the science and speedrun that, I think. Looks like we have someone available to go back into there, which is a-okay. What's the spare? Oh, we've got another water source going. Where's that going to go? Down into that pit, so that's not going to go anywhere too bad. It's fine. So where is the spare job? Is it the fact that we haven't got two in there? Probably. I think so. Alright. That's okay. Yes, it is. Alright. Fine. Once we get some of those guys back in, we can get someone in there. Where have you been stolen from? Not sure, but you don't need to be in there either. So this guy can continue to get all those. That can reach the balls, that's fine. Gonna pause this one. 40 planks is enough, I think, for anything that we're going to need to throw at it sort of in the short term. There's some berries they can still pull out of the ground, so we'll let them carry on with that. Storage is just about full on kohlrabies, which is fine. We'll come up with a better food source for them at some point. That day is not today. If you're bored, you can start cutting down trees. How far away are the others? Yep, Venetia here. So we do have a spare beaver, so I think you're going to be best served going into here, just to speed things along. We are at the required number for this, so we're going to say yes please to that. I'll chuck that in there, and I think this will work. I don't know, but we're going to go with it. And I'm hoping one's enough. We'll see. I mean, it's got to be, because it's not going to overspill, so it shouldn't be a problem. We have the planks and the logs for that, I think. Yes, 10, 5. Good. As long as that's lower than what this spits out to, we should be fine, but I'll just set it to 0 for now. Okay, so we'll have to test this. It should work, maybe, question mark. Obviously you need to remember to slam it shut when we get to that point. So far so good. So we are in a good spot for this one, I think. Berries are good, kohlrabies are pretty much secure. Wood's not great, but they're going to be pulling these out of the ground now, and then we can get them back into these to start cutting this down. These oaks aren't too far away, but I suppose what we can say is also unplant those. We just sort of say cut down those. Now that can't reach. That one can. Might just be a case of having to leave them alone. I'll undo those ones actually. because... What's this one? The one from before? Yeah, it's the same one, isn't it? That's fine. Okay, so as I was saying, I think we're in a good spot. Wood's looking healthy. Obviously, we've got plenty down here at this point. We are now going to need to start to look at getting something done for... moving along the tech tree, I think. So, what were gears? 100. So that will help. What do these actually need? I should have worked that out first. 75, 120. Oh yeah, that's fine. Gives us 400. We're all good. We have no board beavers at the minute, so that's fine. We don't have anyone to go in there just yet, but once this area gets a bit clearer, that'll be quite nice. Now, can anything crawl up here? No. If it would go that way anyway. So this, once this guy goes off, could spill out. We can't come up here and then spill out over, so that's okay. That's got no chance. That bad water source should drip that way. That's okay. We just pause that for now. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave this one here. So please let me know what your stance is on flipping between the Ironteeth and the Folktales. Whether they should be just counted as one while we play experimental. Obviously, when in the future, who knows what we'll do. Obviously, in addition to the existing series, as I mentioned before at the start. So, yeah, it's going to be a sort of a Folkteeth flip-flop, if you like. Let's just say it's probably not the best name to name them, if I'm honest, but never mind. So, yes, I don't really want to have two series on the go for the same sort of thing, but I wanted to sort of play with these and see what some of the things do. So obviously we now have timed bad water sources, as seen here. Which is quite interesting. Gives us a bit of extra risk. I'm interested to see if this works, but we're, again, normal mode, so bad tides are not ever. But again, with this one, like as before, and the other series, if you have any comments, please put them down below. Let me know what you think, and I will be back on Monday, probably, with the normal playthrough that we've got for the Folktales on the Ridgeside one. And then just bitting and bobbing with this one, just so we can get through them and see what they've actually got in them. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time.